talking now to Dr. David Berry. He is a professor of music at Eastern Mennonite University, and he's also a performer. He plays piano. Let's hear from him. So, Dr. Berry, could you tell us a little bit about your work?
Sure. Yeah, well, I think of my job in a couple different ways. As Ms. Clemens said, I'm a performer. I'm a concert pianist, so I go around and play concerts. I'm also a professor at a university, so I teach people music, a number of different kinds of courses, piano, but also about the history of music and different kinds of music. And then I'm also the chair of the piano of the music department, which means I sort of run all of our programs and help manage all of our other professors.
When was it that you knew that this was the kind of work you wanted to do?
Yeah, well, when I was about you guys' age, there were a lot of different possibilities and things I was interested in. Um, I'm not sure all of them were in fifth grade, but through my life, I wanted to be a detective at one point. I wanted to be a good pirate. Maybe I was a little younger than you guys were at that point. And I also wanted to be a pianist. The one that happened to stick was this one. How it happened through the music, really. When I was about 13, I was working on a piece by Beethoven, if you've heard that composer's name. He wrote a piece called Seven Variations on the song God Save the King, and he kind of took it to all of these different worlds. He put it in major, he put it in minor, some slow, some fast, some sort of exciting, some lively, some sad, all of these things. And I just felt like, man, I want to play music like this forever.
What do you especially enjoy about your work or find really rewarding?
I really love the sort of what I've settled into, being able to do a number of things and in music, and I like kind of being able to wear multiple hats. So as I said, I travel and play concerts, and I really love doing that. I really love kind of thinking about. I love teaching. I love like working with students and introducing music that I love to students. And I do enjoy also kind of like thinking about what kind of programs or what kind of things can we do that'll really make um, sort of our professors job easier, or make our students feel like they are really engaged with something. So that kind of like administrative part too. So kind of a day can look very different for me. I might have several meetings, and then that night have a classical concert, and the next day kind of like lead our pep band in at a basketball game, and I find that so much fun. Mhm.
What are some of the big challenges in the work that you do?
Learning to manage your time well and sort of be able to do all of those things is tricky. So I would say that's one of the tricky parts of it. But if you love it, that's enjoyable too. I think sort of at a deeper level than that, I think what kind of ties all those different things together, being a performer, being a teacher, being a administrator, is sort of being able to put yourself in other people's shoes. So as a performer, how do I take this piece of paper with black notes, symbols on it, and I have an audience that's going to be sitting there, and make something that they feel from a piece of paper that they don't have? That's the job of the performer. In sort of teaching, what would make a student really connect to this? And I love thinking about that and planning my lessons that way, to make the history jump off the page. Like, why did these two composers see things different ways or write in different ways and all that kind of thing?
Well, I think as people listen to this interview, they're going to notice how excited you are about the work you're doing. And hopefully they might realize that they like music and this is something they could do as well. So what kinds of things would you suggest are important for somebody to do if they think they might like to be a performer or be a teacher of some kind?
To be a professional performer, it takes a lot of practice time. If you're a music student, definitely listen to what your teacher tells you. I couldn't do this with all that. I could love the music all I want, but what sort of separates being able to be a performer and make a career out of it is to be able to do at your instrument um, anything you can think of, right? So if I don't practice my scales, I may have an idea of how I want to express something, but then my fingers can't make it happen. So it all sort of comes together. And, at the stages where you're really learning some of these things, when I was, about you guys' age, sometimes it can be hard to see like all of the whole picture. But trust me, I'm telling you, that for me, as someone who goes and plays concerts, like I can see how all of those things mattered and all of those days of sort of practice lead up to being able to go out on stage and do what I, uh, you know, perform. And same thing goes for being a teacher. I think um, really being inquisitive, having an inquisitive mind and observing, in addition to like what's you're being taught in class. Think about like teachers you've had. How have they taught? Like how did they connect with you? Like and then make a note of that because that informs your own teacher. I know when I teach my students now, I'll sometimes think about things that my teachers did and say, hey, I didn't realize it at the time, but I think they put a lot of thought into making sure to do that so that I would, understand. And so those things change how I approach teaching. And then the other thing is just being inquisitive, doing things that go beyond just what you get in the class. I mean, too. So I love like, I just go on YouTube and watch people play and listen to all kinds of music. I love reading about composers' lives and all those things. A lot of those things weren't anything a teacher necessarily told me to do, but they contributed.
Well, thank you for talking to us and for what you do for your students and also for the music that you give to us. We really appreciate all of that.
Yeah, thank you for having me.